Coming up with some nice complementary colors. And we'll see how I do with that. How's everybody doing? I see Thelma and Catherine and Irene. I see Glenn. Sharma. Hi, Sharma. I see Pam. Good to see you, Pam. Brenda and Diane. We got a good turnout today. There we go. I think we got everybody there.
Yep.
Yeah. Excellent. We are going to have some fun today. This is a technique that is not at all difficult, but it's fun. And I can't wait to share it with you. Siri, I don't need you to chime in. So I've been sitting here coloring with my ink pads, trying to make sure I get the right color combinations for you. We'll see how this works. All right. I'm going to start by just doing some basic stamping. So,
you ready?
Yeah. Let's go ahead and let's see. I actually want to be on the lower half of my stamp, don't I? Let's see. That's going to stamp on the back. Maybe I just want to go ahead and fold it. Maybe I just want to stamp on other paper and cut them down. That might be the best thing of all. Let's do that. Let's do that. That sounds like the thing to do. I have one of my handy dandy pads here. Let's just stamp on these.
I figured that's what you were going to do.
Yeah, that's what I usually do. I just had a moment there when I lost my mind. It's not an unusual state of affairs. How are you guys doing? I asked Margie to sit in with me today so that Bryce could keep an eye on Dad. So, I was just saying to Margie before class started, I really am a creature of habit. There are some things that I just feel very confident with and that I love. And I got these stamps out as one of my many choices today because I love these stamps and they make me feel confident. So I'm going to start, I think, our process today using one of these. I think they're called Easy Watercolor Butterflies. I think many, if not most of you, have this set because I've used it over and over and over and over and over again over the years.
If they did the Jamie Powders class, they would have gotten
Yeah.
one.
Oh, yeah, you would have gotten it in the Jamie Powders if you did that. Yeah.
Yep.
And if you did the stamping class with me, I think we used it in there. And I don't even remember what else we used it in, but lots of things because they're really beautiful. And I like them a lot. And so when I'm thinking about ideas for things, the things I use the most tend to pop into my mind. Okay. So I'm going to begin. I'm going to leave myself a little bit of a border around since I'm going to be cutting this card down to fit my cards. And I'm going to start by just stamping and embossing this. Now, what did I do? There it is. I noticed when I took it out that my embossing pad needs attention. It just doesn't feel like it's got anything in it anymore, which probably means we're a little too light on the embossing. And I thought, it's probably a good opportunity to talk about re-inking instead of just doing it ahead. I thought we'll re-ink with you here so that you guys can see what's involved in re-inking. One of the mistakes most often made in re-inking is putting too much ink on the pad. You actually want to put a lighter amount of ink. And then if you have an old credit card, one that's dead and isn't going to compromise you, I wouldn't use the one that you carry around in your wallet. But if you have an old credit card, that's like the very best tool. I did not have a credit card out here, so I'm going to use my scoring plate to rub this in. But just a little piece of plastic is a great way to rub this in. So I'm going to put kind of a swirly line of this going edge to edge down to the bottom. And that's all the ink I'm going to use for now. I'm not going to put tons and tons of ink on. Let it kind of evaporate into the pad a little bit. And now I'm going to use my scoring tool to just cause that to be covering the entire surface of my pad. And that's it. That's it. It's not a big, long, terrible process to have to re-ink things. It's actually a fairly easy process.
Catherine says that she loves credit cards. And Brenda, thank you for your thoughts. You don't have to apologize. We had our first time that we've been able to go out in several months as well, and I promptly got a migraine and we had to go home.
Oh, no.
So
that's not fun. Okay, I'm going to use my embossing ink, my Emboss It. This happens to be a Ranger product, but we have several different good embossing pads, and I'm sure you have embossing pads too. They're all basically the same thing, and I've had people ask me, can you use the embossing re-inkers interchangeably? Let me just say I have. I have used different brands, and it worked out okay. So I would say yes, you can. Now, there's probably some brand out there that won't like that, but I haven't had any problem with it. So I'm going to get my pretty embossed image on there. I'm going to take I have my little tidy tray here, and I have some of my Wow Clear embossing powder. Is that the way you read?
I don't know. I think she typoed.
I just wanted to. I'm not sure what you're saying, Thelma. I think the keys got muddled on us here. But I'd love to hear what you had to say. Ink. That's the way you ink your...
Probably dead pads.
Dead pads also. Yeah, great. Re-ink. Perfect. Yes. No matter whether you're using an embossing ink or whether you are re-inking your Ranger pads or others, that's exactly what you do. You just don't want to over-ink it. Okay. So I put my embossing powder on. I poured my extra off into my tidy tray so I can get it back in the jar. And I'm going to emboss this. Heat emboss it. I'll give you a little hint. What we're doing is we're using our embossing powder as kind of a resist for the ink that we're going to be putting on here. I didn't have my gun hot, so it's going to take a second for this to... Excuse me. It'll take a second for this to get heated up enough to actually emboss this. I had the embossing magic pad in that drawer. I should have grabbed that to get rid of the stray embossing powder before Okay. And you guys already know this, but I'll say it anyway. When you emboss it, you want to make sure that you hit all the powdery areas, but don't overdo it, because if you overdo it, you actually just flatten your ink back out. So you lose some of your effect if you over emboss. Okay, so I still have a little bit of feeling of powder on my pad. I'm going to go ahead and put this in so I can't stick my arm in it or flip it over onto the floor, or one of the many other things I'm known for doing when I don't get rid of. Sorry for the gravelly throat. Still, pollen is still crazy out there. Okay.
Brenda says you definitely don't want to re-ink. It makes a mess. And then she says, how do I know this?
Okay, so I'm going to actually peel off my butterfly. I'll clean that up after a while. You don't need to watch me do that. I'm going to turn my board upside down. My stamping board upside down. I'm actually... I'm going to take my gel press pad and I'm going to go, hi, Mary R. We've missed you. I'm going to go right onto my board with my gel press. I'm going to put it right on the flap as if it was a stamp. So I've got my gel press. I'm going to want to go over this butterfly area, so I'll use my paper to help position it as we usually do. And I'm going to pick up my gel press on my flap. Whoops. Didn't want to let go. Let's see. I actually think I'm going to, those magazines are the magazines, the magnets on these presses are really powerful. I'm going to cut off a little bit extra so I'm not getting off and away. But I'm still going to put down a sheet of paper, just a regular sheet of paper to kind of protect my work area here. I don't want to be getting ink all over my stamp press, but I want to get it in where I can actually work on it. And that's pretty good, but I'll try that again. Pick up my whole gel press as if it were a stamp. I'm going to use my magnets to put my working surface down. And I'm going to start laying down some colors on my gel press. I have not pre-tried these colors. We'll just experiment together and see how it goes. It won't surprise you to know that I picked a lilac. It's a shaded lilac. And I'm just using my brayer to pick up the ink. Try and get it nice and inky. And I think we'll have our lilac at the top. I'm going to put my lilac ink on. I'm not going to worry too much about the fact that I'm using all very light colors, so I'm not worried too much about cleaning my brayer between colors. This one's actually the darker of the colors, so I'm going to go to the bottom with this. Doesn't have to be light to dark, but that's kind of where I'm going with it. This one is kind of the darker color, and I don't want to get that dark all over my lighter color, so I'm going to wipe this off. Just got them out of order here. And then I have this one called Weathered Wood. I'm going to pick up some of that and put in the middle. Hello, hello, hello. Ah, this is how I get so inky. Been at it 5 minutes and I got ink all over my fingers already.
I leave for just a few minutes to answer Mary's questions, and you inked everywhere.
Yes, that's pretty much what I did. Yeah. That's pretty much it. So I'm going to put a little bit of that on there. So now I've got 3 different colors of ink, complementary colors, I hope, on my pad. And I'm just going to close this. We're going to see what we get when we put it on our paper. Okay, we got a nice, pretty much light coating. We got one area we completely missed there, but we're going to put several areas, several shots of ink on here, so it really doesn't matter that I missed a little spot there.
Must be erasing your platform along in there.
Is there? Yeah, there might be. Okay, I'm going to put more of my weathered wood in the middle. I'm going to get some more of the stormy sky. I'm using a lighter color so I can go right into my darker pad without worrying too much about it. I'm going to put some ink on the bottom here. I'm going to take those off because my other color is lighter. I don't want to corrupt my lavender with darker colors. My lavender's over here. I'm just creating 3 layers of color. I'm kind of overlapping those colors a little bit. It's not my goal to mix the colors, but I do want them to mix where the colors come together. Let's see if I can push this down a little bit better here with that. Didn't ink last time. I need my, I don't know what I did with it. Do you know where my things that Kathy Girly Girl made me are? I haven't used them for a while. Now you're going to begin to see the magic of this process. See what's happening as we create that ombre? And we're going to just keep going. The lighter you want it, the less time she'll go over it. If you want it darker, and I actually kind of want a saturated color just for illustration for this first one. I'm coming in with my lavender. Now you might be asking yourself, could I go straight to the pad rather than using the brayer? The only thing you'll miss in doing that, if you decide to go straight to the, thank you. Where did you find it?
It was underneath your Lisa Horton.
Huh, thank you.
You're welcome.
You
know, it's got to be pretty humorous if you watch us sometimes, if you could actually see us do what we do, because I'm over there crawling along like a little duck on the floor so I can get behind Debbie to look for the lid. Hi, Mary.
Let's go do that. I'll put a little weathered wood in the middle. And I notice that I'm getting more, like 2/3 dark and 1/3 light. So I'm going to kind of come down a little bit further with my lighter colors and just try and correct that situation a little bit. I'm going to come clear to the bottom with my blue. That's a good idea that you mentioned, Thelma, about using a clean brayer to rub the top of the stamping pad instead of my hand. I actually have a wrist that's really bothering me, and doing that or using my tool that Kathy Girl gave me, this thing that she made out of a Yankee Candle, is a lot better than putting strain on that wrist.
Well, because last week I made a sale. So so Catherine's asking if I'm planning other sales.
I came in and Margie said, I have something I need to talk to you about pretty soon because I did something. I said, I wouldn't care about that. She said, yeah, but I just never do that. I wanted to tell you in case it wasn't okay.
Surprise!
I'm putting some more of this light lavender, and I'm going to continue trying to layer this a bit without so much of the dark. So I really am getting much darker colors than I envisioned. This thing works really well because it's heavy already. And then you can just apply pressure on each spot, which is good. Oh, I'm liking it's actually, I'm getting more of an ombre down through the middle now. Do you see that? Margie's a temptress, you think? I'm so glad to share that title with somebody. Good on you, Margie. Now, I started to say if you don't do this with a brayer, if you do it just ink to paper, you can do that. But what you'll miss is some of the blending that you get when the brayer runs across the different colors. I loved, when I saw this idea, I loved the fact that it was another idea for using my gel press. And I thought it was kind of cool to use my gel press and my stamp pad together. Actually, put it right on my gel press with my brayer. My cloth is getting beautiful. And you can go as many times as you want. If you want it to be really light, you can start with very light colors and just stop after a time or two. If you want, the more intense you want your color to be, the more times you go over it. I'm determined to have more of this purple showing. I think my two blue colors were maybe a little darker than I wanted, but you don't know till you try. See my paper sliding a little there. I'm going to cut this paper down anyway, so it doesn't matter if I'm a little uneven on the edges. There goes a magnet. Okay, I think I'm liking this. Now the final thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this wet wipe and I'm going to clean off any ink on top of my resist so that my butterfly comes out nice and bright. Let's go ahead and make a card out of this. A little darker than I wanted, but I'll try again. It's a different stamp and a different color combination. Really like the lavender. Okay, let's go ahead and cut this inked portion down to go on our card. And I'm not sure what size card I have here. I believe it's a regular US 4 1/4 by, no, it's not. No, it's an A6. But it's not an A6 that's folded very well, so I'm going to correct that fold. Make that lay down nicely. So I know that because my card is 4 1/8 by 5 7/8, my measurements are going to be, I'm just going to start taking a little off the edges till I begin to see where my center is going to be. I'll take a little bit more off the left. Okay, this will put me at 3 7/8. Now I want to be at 5 5/8. And I have this is very much towards the top of my paper, so I'm going to chop off quite a bit on the bottom to start with.
I think I found one of your pins there.
Excuse me?
I found one of your pins.
Oh, you sure
there.
did. Thank you. Whoops. That still has some white on it, so trim that a tad more.
Say hi to Annette.
Hi, Annette. We're doing some stamping using our gel press. Actually, I like that a lot. I think that's quite pretty. How about, I think we need a little ribbon or something, though. That's nice. I'll just put a little ribbon on here. Wrap it around there. And maybe a piece of foil going to take my hunky-dory tape and go right over the back of this ribbon. Hunky-dory is just about the right size for a 3/8 inch ribbon piece. Let's see, what do I have for Mary up here? There's some interesting blues. I wonder if one of those would work. Let's see. Maybe the light one. I was just going to grab silver, but now I'm intrigued. I have to see what it would look like if I put this odd blue on here.
Odd blue.
Yeah, that's a technical term for it.
Is it?
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to peel my ribbon. If it gives you a hard time about peeling the ribbon, just tear the ribbon in the center. Tear the tape in the center and pull back both directions. I did get my ribbon a little off center. Just because I'm talking about it being a perfect size for this, I've made it too wide. But all I'm going to do is just wrap that underneath, that extra bit of tape. I don't want the sticky showing. I'm wondering, why don't you go and grab those seals that Rice was just looking at, the floral seals on the table? And I think I have like a daisy or something.
We've got lots of different ones.
That might be fun.
Do you have adhesive over there?
That's a good question. I think there's a pack sitting there.
There is. You want
Yeah.
me to open it?
Yeah. It's actually already been opened.
Oh, okay. Just wanted to make sure.
Oh, now I'm actually really kind of liking this. And I think I have a daisy that might be pretty.
Seeing a lot of snowflakes here.
I just made some new things yesterday, and I'll show one off to you while we're doing this process. Let's start by gluing this down while Margie's doing her thing. If I were wrapping this ribbon all the way around the card, I'd go ahead and put it down to the card before. But because I put it on the Mary board, now I can just cut through it. Does that make sense? Because that'll keep it from raveling at the edges. So I no longer need to do this before I can glue it down.
What
Just-
happened if we did one of these daisies?
Yeah, that's nice. Let's see, it might be big, but we'll see.
Oh, keep
We'll just
looking
try
now.
it. We'll just try it. We're into trying things. Catherine, you said when we were playing with wax before, I want to make a pendant out of that. We're going to. We're going to have a wax sealing 102 class coming up, and we're going to do wax sealing using pressed flowers and ribbon, and then we're going to make some jewelry out of wax seals. So ask and you shall receive.
I think you did
I'm
this.
sorry, Annette. What are we going to do with you? You and Bryce. Bryce has just been down and down and down and down and down. He used an excuse today that he should take care of his dad to try and keep him in the house during the show because he just needs to rest and he's not being good about doing that. Got this last piece on here.
I think you must have dreamed making a daisy one other than the real flowers, because there's not a daisy.
No, it was the daisy. It was the real flower.
Oh, you want the real flower.
I
Okay.
really wanted the real flowers.
Oh, see? And I thought that, because we do have a daisy one. Because you have a little bit of everything.
Yes, I do.
Make a card, we can find a wax seal for you.
I've been playing with my wax seals, figuring out new things. Oh no, this might be. Is there a different seal that would look better on here? This might be kind of a lot with the pink. I have this one, but it's backward. I could still go with that one.
I'm sorry, Annette. If you ever want to talk sometime, you can ask me all about the second half of that.
I love
diagnosis.
pressing pansies, Glenn. Oh, icky. Yes, Margie has that too. Okay.
Glenn was using his Fleur press.
Yes,
to make
microfleur.
them. Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to have to do that soon too, especially once you guys see all these pressed flowers that we're going to work with. You're going to be saying, but I want pressed flowers, but they're too expensive. And so then I'll be saying that I'll show you how to make them using your very own press. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put this on here. I have to decide where to put it though. Okay, tell me what you think. I'm kind of thinking off to the side, but if you guys think it should go elsewhere, we can try that.
I think I like it on the side. You could even put like a little sticker with the saying on it.
We
next
could.
to it.
And I think I'd like this better if I had. My wrist is really hurting. If I
If you
had
need
cut
me to
this.
cut, I can do that.
I had cut this ribbon piece to let my border show.
Glenn's going to try Lily of the Valley. He has a lot of it.
I have tried all kinds of things and I just love it. I've even successfully pressed roses, Glenn. There's a technique to it that I will show you when we do that. It works really well. I was telling Margie, I don't know what I did to my wrist. It may just be overuse or a little bit of arthritis in there or something, but it's, yeah, I think, what do you think? Do we want to?
It's on your right hand, so you know.
It's probably overuse. Yeah, let's just go with that. We could put a saying on it too. The idea behind this, guys, is that you're stamping, but you don't have to color, which is kind of nice. I could color. I could now take some of my I might still do this. I could take some of my watercolor paints and come in the parts of these wings, and that'd be beautiful. Okay, let's get rid of this and let's stamp something else. Oh, look. I left my glue open and it's dripping. Something else to put my hands in. Oh, look what I did. Sound like a toddler that's making discoveries of the kinds of messes they can make. Oh, look, when I turn this upside down, it falls out. Okay, let's see. I want to do another one. Let's do, I don't know what kind of flower this is. It's a pretty flower. Let's do this flower here. And then I want to try something that I've been oohing and eyeing over since I got these stamps out. This is another hot off the press set. This one is called Floral Fantasy. And it's got all kinds of blooms, but it's also got musical notes, which could be fun. to put on. And these really stick to the sass when they put them on there.
I always feel like I'm going to rip them,
But they
I
don't.
never do.
Yeah, they don't rip. They just, if you had a really skinny area on it, you probably could rip it, but they come off. Okay, let's go back to our stamping board. Isn't that kind of fun, though? The way we get that resist in there from the, and then we get this fairly solid background, ombre background with using the brayers. I think that's kind of fun. Okay, I'll take my stamp press off, my gel press off, put this back around, get myself another sheet of paper, and my new one. Last time I said, I don't know why I didn't think of it, because I had an embossing magic pad here I could have put down on my paper and kept the stray. Oh, that's not an embossing magic pad. That's embossing enamel. But this is an embossing magic pad.
If you don't find one, okay, got one.
Get it?
I know where they're at.
At some time I had stashed this one back here and I have a brand new one that's never
In
been
that
used.
surprise drawer that you have back there.
We have used every inch of this shop, I'm telling you. Every inch of this shop is well used and well loved. Let's see. Get another piece of my 8x8, and I'm going to go ahead and cut that down a little bit because the 8x8 is a little wide for my stamp press. I definitely don't need that much room. Oh, I heard my magnet hit the floor a while ago, but I didn't pick it up. The beautiful thing about magnets is you can use your scissors to pick them up. All right. Maybe with this one I should use a sentiment too. Let's try that. I'm trying to decide the way this flower wants to be on there. I'm going this way. Don't know if that's the way it wants to be, but that's where it's going. Let's see if we have a big, beautiful... Oh, follow the music in your heart. There we go. We'll put that here. And we have this pretty treble clef. It is just a really beautiful musical note. And then we have a few little musical notes here. We're missing some. I wonder if they're on the table here somewhere where I've been prying on this thing because I know there was more in here. I'll find it when I stop looking. Okay, well, we can add more. Okay, so I got this embossing magic pad out. Wait, they really wrapped this good. Take off the third layer of packaging. I'm just going to use my embossing magic pillow and put a little bit of dust down on my cardstock in an effort not to have my embossing powder stick everywhere. And it'll just take off any static electricity. It's not quite straight. Let's try putting it on straight and see what happens.
It will be straight. Sorry.
Might not have been that one that was crooked. I think it's the one next to it. That looks better. Okay. And let's put our musical notes on here. It's still not straight. There we go. Okay. Get our embossing pad out. And you notice that even though my pad was dry and that we put very little embossing powder on, we got a beautiful embossing job on that last card, didn't we? It was nice and really did a good job of
turn on your gun.
masking.
Start heating it.
Try to get it all nice and clear. A stamped image here. Tidy tray out. Get some wow embossing powder. Embossing powder everywhere we want it. Shake that off into my tidy tray. You don't have these. This is like a craft must-have. I use these probably as much as any other tool in the shop because it seems not to matter which craft I'm working on, all of them need to have mess control, especially for me. It's really embossing quickly now since we preheated. Thank you for the reminder, Margie.
I'll try when I can.
Beautiful job of embossing on there. I'm going to turn my pad around again now. Catherine's telling Glenn that was the spy who loved him. Okay, liking this. I think this is pretty. Just going to try and catch the corners of this in hopes of keeping this paper still. It may or may not work because it's going to want to lift with this great big gel press. But let's just find a nice place in the center for it. Might even still have a little bit of those colors on it. I don't really care if it does. Let me stick that on. So much for the idea of getting it positioned. Came right back off. But that's okay. You know what? My gel press has embossing powder on it. I missed to place embossing it. That's going to mess this whole thing up, so we're going to start again. It has embossing powder right there and told me this is not going to work. I missed a spot right in the center. You can see, yeah. You can see where my white or my clear embossing is. And I thought I had everything, but there's a part right in the middle of my flowers that didn't get heat set, which means it's not going to work. It's going to make a mess of those flowers because we won't have the resist. So we're going to try it again. Don't get upset, just fix it. Let's try that again.
I do so many do-overs.
Sometimes life just requires some do-overs. Mary who fills your orders, had a birthday this week, and she also had a death in her family. Her family was in transit on her birthday, and it was just one of those times when her birthday happened at a bad time. So I wrote her a little card and told her I was sorry for her loss, and that we'll do a birthday do-over next week. Next week we're going to have a birthday do-over. We're just going to pretend it didn't happen this week, and we're going to do it next week.
Irene asks, how do you clean the gel press?
Actually, lots of people never ever clean their gel press. You can wash it. There is a gel press conditioner and cleaner that they sell. Don't use any harsh chemicals of any kind on it. Just water and maybe just a drop of dish soap. But don't use any harsh chemicals of any kind. And but a lot of people say that you should never ever wash a gel press like you never wash your cast iron because it gets seasoned and they just don't ever wash them. It's up to you. I don't wash mine usually, but mine's not so much believing I don't want to unseason it, but more a matter of laziness. I could say it's something else. You guys would know the truth. Why not just admit it? Okay, this time I'm going to make sure I get everything embossed correctly. Thank you for your patience with me as I do my do-over. That's gutsy, isn't it?
Yes.
Doing that at an arm's length. I mean, so they still wash my cast iron. I can't stand up. I'm going to be less of a hurry and more conscientious in embossing this time. As soon as I saw the embossing powder residue on the gel press, I thought this project's going to be a fail. So let's stop now and save a little time. Because without the embossing powder being heated, it's not going to resist the ink, and we just end up with a mess. So this time, we have it fully embossed. You can see it. Okay, now, let's try again, shall we? I don't know why I bothered to put the magnets down. It's not going to hold there. But
Oh, do you need to clean the embossing powder off of it?
What?
The embossing powder on your gel press. Do you need to wash that off? It's on the other side.
Yes, actually I do. Getting off that little grit from the embossing powder. I don't want to put that in strange places. Okay. There we go. That'll be good. Okay, let's use some different colors this time. I'm going to try these three colors. I can try them on this, my throwaway. See if I like the color combo. And once again, I got 2 darks and 1 light. Let's see if I've got another lighter one here. You can't always tell from the box what color you're going to get. I did like that one there, and I do like this one here. Let's try and see if this is a lighter one. But that's nice. Okay, these are our colors this time. Okay, so let's get our brayer out here. 1:50 in the morning in France. Bless your heart for coming to join us, Catherine. My lightest color. My next lighter color. Try and get a bit of blend on it this time.
Say goodnight, Catherine.
I did. Good night, Catherine. I blessed her heart for showing up when she is in the middle of the night.
Yes.
Her time. Let's see what we get this time. I think these will be nice colors. I hope they are. We'll find out right now. This gel press is just a little wide for your stamping platform if you happen to be using the same kind I am. So you have to kind of really push it in there. Oh, those are good colors. Okay. Let's clean this off a little.
They're still talking about seasoned cast irons.
Oh, okay. What's the consensus? Do they wash or not to wash?
Some do.
That is the question. There's nothing like cast iron for some foods. You guys mentioned cornbread. That's just one of the best ones. Can you use different colors of embossing powder as opposed to the inks that you're using? I don't know why you couldn't. All we're using the embossing powder for, Thelma, is a resist. So I don't know why you couldn't do that.
I think, well, I'm reading it probably differently. I think she's asking you to do it in a different color so you can see what you're doing.
Oh. I'm going to continue to do it in clear. And I'll tell you why. The reason I want to do it in clear is because of the effect of the ghosting of the white as we work. The white comes up more and more towards the top as we put more ink on it. And I'll lose that effect if I move to a different powder. It's a great idea. It really is. But that's why I'm going to stick with the white, because I want to watch this come up, the white come up on the paper as we add the ink to it. I almost grabbed that brayer and rubbed on here. That would not have been good. I still have a light spot in that one spot. I wonder why. I think we're going to have a problem with the embossing in the words, but maybe not. I mean, I rolled it over there just to see if we're actually ever going to get the words to come through. It kind of looks like they're going to come up, so we'll keep trying. What I did by doing that is lock myself into being pretty dark.
Yeah.
But that's okay. I don't mind. Oh, here comes the white up though. My words may be a little tough to do. This is probably a technique best done with larger words, I'm going to say. This has pretty petite words in it, and this might be one that we really want to do with larger words. But my flower's beginning to come up beautifully. My gel press used to be 5x7. I don't know how I've done it, but over time I've kind of worked it out. So it's a different shape. It's had a lot of use at this point, though. I think I just put those on in the wrong order. Oh well. It'll still be pretty. I'm not going to get agitated no matter how many mistakes I make today. You'll still see a technique you can use if you want to. And your challenge is to do it without the mistakes I've made. I like the way that the white's beginning to come up, though. Yeah, I may not even use the words because they're just kind of messy. I'll cut it off here. Figure it out a different way. We'll do it. We'll make it work. You want to see what happens if we just stamp to the pad? Let's try some of that. Let's stamp right to the... It'll get darker faster because we're putting more ink on. You won't get quite as much of an ombre feel. You may see more distinct lines between them. Or maybe not, depending on how successful I am in patting it in different positions. Let's just see what we get. Shall we? Oh, let's. Indubitably. Who said that? Shall we? Oh, let's. Ooh, that actually darkened really well. And we didn't lose all our ombre effect. I thought we might, but I kind of like it. You guys know me. I start out with things and I think, what would happen if I... Some of my best creations come from that. This dark at the bottom, we're just about done with that, I think. A little speck of something in our ink there. I think it's off my pressed flowers. Debbie, of all the media you have to experiment the most is gel press or printing. Not sure what you're asking, Thelma. Sorry. I do love the gel press. I think the gel press is just great fun. You might be asking about gel press versus Jamie powders. And if it's the Jamie powders inking that you're asking about, I would have to say for me personally, it's Jamie powders, but that's just me. That's just me. Now, because I'm going to cut this off here, I want to try and save that treble clef because it's pretty. So I'm probably going to need to do something interesting when I cut this. Maybe save a little bit more room and move the treble clef over here. If I do that, I'm going to have to put more ink over there. I still have one more I want to do for sure. And just to try and get ahead of it a little bit, I may go right to the paper with my ink pads and see if I can darken it more over there. Although that helped a lot, huh?
She said that she's not asking a question, but the gel press is something that is fun.
Yes.
And you are right. The best ideas are from trying new things.
Oh, thank you, Thelma.
Mariar says she has the opposite problem. She usually goes too far and ruins it.
Adding a little bit more ink on the side so I can go a little bit wider when I cut off that bottom part. That'll work. Okay, I need a baby wipe. We're going to lift the ink off the top of our stamping. That's beautiful. Look at that, how that comes up. I'm sure this is a loss, but we'll try. Follow the music in your heart. You can actually read it, but it's a little bit messy. Can you see that? But I'm going to make something out of it anyway. Because why not? I just have to be a little clever about what I'm doing here. I'm going to cut off this treble clef so I can put it on a piece of mirror or something and add it to my card. And it means I'm going to have to be clever about how to do this flower. Maybe I will cut this flower out and just use the ombre in the center of the flower on some other kind of background. That might be fun. I think that's going to work. This is pretty. Well, lots of choices about how you can do this. I watched this technique performed by somebody in Europe, and they really had neat results. I liked it a lot. I haven't done a lot of it. You can tell I haven't done a lot of it. And I think getting a little deeper knowledge of what colors are going to actually look like would be useful. I need to probably make myself a what am I trying to say? A block with all of my ink stamped on it, so I can see what the actual colors are. I've done that with some of my other inks, and that's very useful when you're trying to decide what's going to go together well, or what's going to give you a lighter, darker, and medium shade of the same tone. So that would be useful, I think. That's pretty. Okay. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be able to save this or not. But let's just play with it a little bit. Yeah. It's just, I think I needed bigger words, guys. You there? It says follow the music in your heart, but it just ends up being.
Looks like scroll work.
Huh?
It looks kind of like scroll work. Instead of words.
All right. I had a piece of mirror in here. Oh, this is pretty together, though. That might be pretty. I also saw a piece of soft green in here. That could be pretty. I think I like the blue better, don't you guys? You like the blue or the green? Blue. Or green.
Stands out more on the green.
It does stand out more on the green. It kind of blends pretty with the blue, though.
Yep. It just depends on what you want to go for.
What do you guys like? Blue, 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 blue. All righty then. Nobody has guessed my quote. Anybody want to take a stab at it? Shall we? Oh, let's. Indubitably. There's a lot of parents out there that will be embarrassed not to have known this one when I tell you what it was. I want to put white down. I want to border in white.
They're talking about doing the sayings that they've heard from parents about being a little short brainwaves.
Okay, let's go ahead and get a card out here. I have one more I want to do because I just want to know what will happen. Yeah, I think we need white border on it. I'm going to go 3 7/8. Shall we? Oh, let's. Indubitably. Mary's going to Google it. Remember the little squirrels, the chipmunks? And one was always getting the other one in trouble. And he'd say, shall we? Oh, let's. Indubitably. That's what my quote was. Chip and Dale. Not in the stripper form. I just realized how gross my nails are today. I've been stamping and inking and doing all kinds of things, and my hands look like it. Sorry. What are some of the sayings they're coming up with?
Let's go back. Kind of jump here and there. That's helpful.
That's a little too green. The green's not bad. That's black.
Okay, so it starts with Annette talking about cornbread. So you got to this other conversation because Brenda talked about cornbread.
Okay.
Or Annette talked about cornbread. So Brenda says one of her favorite sayings about her mom, one of her favorite sayings about people, she doesn't care what she always says, she always says their cornbread isn't ready in the middle.
Okay.
And then somebody said that's the polite way of saying that they're a little thick. And I kind of have to run through what they're saying because it kept bouncing back and forth. Well, my mom would say, well, the lights on the front porch is on, but I'm afraid they are gone off.
Oh.
What's that question? The lights are on, but nobody's home.
That one.
Yeah.
Use that one. Right with one or.
If you're getting run out of town, get in the front of the crowd and make it look like a parade.
I like that one.
Mary R. says, my DH used to say they aren't playing with a full deck or a few French fries short of a full basket. Irene says, or the dipstick is not touching oil and there's a few grapes short of a bunch.
Put that down already.
Sandwich
Right.
short of a picnic. The elevator does
Didn't
not
go
go
to
to the top floor. Sharpest tool in the shed. Brightest crayon in the box. And so that's why they said they can go with it all night if they have to.
What'd your grandmother say, Glenn? Into a Catholic mass. The priest said, "I'm beautiful."
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, that was not helpful, now was it?
The Catholic mass, and the priest had on beautiful robes, and the incense burner swinging. She spouted off and said, "I sure like your dress, but your purse is on fire." I love that. That's really good. Oh, that's funny.
They asked what the priest did, and he said, giving a very dirty look.
That's just hysterical. I love that one. That's a good one. Don't know your grandmother, but I love her, Glenn. Okay, this isn't my best work, but it's okay. It's still, we're having fun. That's what matters. That's what matters the most. Catch it. Catch it.
I don't know what they say, but maybe one of those would
Okay.
help filler it. Could probably go with a different color.
Actually, I like this. It's better.
Okay.
It's better now. I had to do the pen I had a minute ago. Someone told Glenn he's a chip off the old block. A cantankerous crafter. It's still cute. We're going to use it. Okay. Let's see. I want to try one more. How are we doing? 5:19. We can finish one in 5 minutes.
She thought she was going to be done early.
I did, but then things didn't go according to plan.
No, they never. They hardly ever do.
Sometimes they just don't. Okay, I ran across a stamp here. I wanted to see what would happen. See this beautiful stamp right here? It's got all these little wavy lines in the back. I wanted to see what would happen with this with an ombre behind it. So you got to try that. Thank you, Mary R. And hit those like buttons if you would, guys. Even if you just like watching me mess up, that's okay too. The like buttons tell YouTube that this is a channel you recommend people watch.
And that you can get your upper arm strength from.
Yeah, that was a holder honor there. Okay. Turn my thing around the other way. I agree with you, Irene. We just have fun and kind of forget about the time.
Yep.
This
That's
is
the way to
beautiful
go.
stamp. Can't wait to see how this turns out. There's that little embossing magic pad.
It's up behind the actual
Thank you.
ink.
Okay. This one, do I know what this one's called? I don't know. I'll look and see if I know what this one's called. I might have a sleeve for it on the table here. Just in honor of our using hot off the press stamps to do this, and the gel press to do this, I'm going to put the gel presses on sale for 10% off, and I'm going to put all of the hot off the press stamps on sale for 25% off. We'll do that as soon as we're done here. Okay? So if there's any of these stamps that you like and you want to see if we still have them, you can run out and take a look, and if we do have it, it's going to be on sale.
We've got like the watercolor flower, and then, like you said, the watercolor butterfly. But there are so many different ones out there.
Maybe it's fun no matter what. And that, if nothing else, we can just laugh at my silliness sometimes. And that's okay too. Okay. Embossing powder. This has some little flakes of color on it already, this piece of paper I grabbed, but
It is called Botanical Blooms.
Botanical Blooms was this
and
one,
it is
guys.
for sale.
Oh, we have it. So if you want it, it's on sale. It will be on sale today. We haven't put it on sale yet. I was just talking to Margie about how to do that and said I'd help her as soon as we were done putting them on sale.
Yeah, if I can like totally log in to get the code. Sometimes the computer likes to play tricks on us.
Yes, it does. If you want to grab my computer from the house, we can do it in about 3 seconds. Now what we do know is we are going to make sure we have embossed every part. We know it does not work out well if it isn't embossed thoroughly. We've learned this. It's so easy to do because you're trying not to overcook it. And sometimes you can undercook it. You gotta hit that sweet spot right in the middle. Ooh, this is beautiful. It is thoroughly embossed everywhere. You can actually see the embossing powder on this one because it's kind of a dense stamp. We're going to flip this around, get our gel press. What am I going to do with this one? I wonder what would happen if we did pretty dark inks. Should we try that? Should we try some really dark inks? Why not? We haven't tried that. I have 3 pretty dark ones right here. I have Blueprint, Villainous Potion, and I have Lucky Clover. Let's try doing 3 pretty dark ones and see what happens. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'll bet we can find out. green at the top. And use blue next. You should be able to log into that one, okay. The regular password, all lowercase. It's not the numbers, it's the letters.
The old version?
Yeah. And I'm going to put some purple on here. We're going to see what we get. Should be interesting.
Really quick. This one?
Yes.
Haha. I can get into a computer. Yay!
Okay. I'm going to try this way. Put my paper down on my press and rub it instead of the other way around.
Okay. Where do I...
Oh, this is going to be pretty, guys.
That's going to be neat. Where do I start?
Where-
I'm in products.
Go to BigCommerce
I'm there.
and go to categories. Go to product categories.
Product categories. Okay. And I'm assuming that go down to hot off the press.
Nope,
under primary.
you're going to go down to stamping, clear stamps. Stamping, then clear stamps.
Okay. Just a
And then there
second.
will be a place for hot off the press.
Product categories.
Product category.
It's giving me heartfelt tired lace, product types, are brands.
No, not brands. Find a category or the product.
Product type?
Yep.
Okay.
The last one may be our best one, guys. Which is good because you deserve at least one good one. Actually, I think they've all been fun. Whether I'd entered them in the fair, I don't know, but they've all been fun. That wasn't helpful. I guess that's why we bring the paper to the gel press instead of the gel press to the paper. Because if you drop it, it does that. Ooh, this is going to be pretty. This is going to be pretty. Pretty, pretty. Needs a little more purple at the bottom to make that kind of pop. Because the blue and the purple are kind of mixing quite a bit. Let's put some purple on here. Get a nice good coating of purple. Bottom part. Oh yeah, I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Okay. I'm going to use my wet wipe I'm going to take the extra ink off so we can really see that shine. Oh, I was right, Margie. This is a beautiful one. Look at this.
That turned out gorgeous.
Isn't that pretty? This is the one we've been waiting for, guys.
Okay. Ready?
Okay.
I have
Now I should go down to
I clicked product categories, and that's all the choices that I
product
have.
type. Product types. You have to hit the down arrow in order to see all the products.
Oh.
Then go to stamping.
Okay.
Look at this, guys. Look at this. This is going to be gorgeous. So excited. Look at my fingers. If the name Inky Fingers weren't already taken, I would use it. I think there's somebody already on YouTube with Inky Fingers.
Okay, found it.
Now, did you find Hot Off the Press?
Yep, and I'm in Hot Off the Press Clear Stamps.
Okay. Now I want you to go out to where the dots are at the end, and I want you to say view products.
Don't open that folder up, right? Just
You're gonna
go over to the...
You're going to go over when you're sitting on Hot Off the Press. You're going to go over to view products. That is true, Brenda. Unless you have fingers that look like this, you might not be having enough fun.
Okay.
Now you got all the products up?
Yep.
And that should be all the clear stamps by Hot Off the Press, true?
Yep, that looks like it.
Okay, so you're going to there's a place to highlight the entire
All of them.
category.
Yep.
So I want you to highlight everything.
Okay.
And then I want you to look at the top there for your clue. It should be like group edit, something.
Yeah, there's a bulk edit.
Bulk
or
edit, that's the
there's
one.
edit prices.
You want to group bulk edit.
Okay. Okay.
And now you can go in and change all the prices at one time, putting the sale in that sale column. You see that?
Okay, I see the sale column. How do I get them all to these?
You have to, I should have had you do.
And they're all different prices.
Yeah, here's what I'm going to have you do. Go back out. Just don't go all the way back out, just to the left screen. And then organize everything by price first.
Okay.
My paper's still a little wet, so when I trimmed it with my trimmer, it was trying to give me white edges. So that's why I cut that off with my scissors.
Some of them look like they're already on
Yeah.
the sale.
You can just change them all to where they're 25% off the original. Look at it. It's going to be so pretty. Oh my gosh, it's pretty. Wow. I love this one. I love this one. Do I have purple on my forearms? I probably do. Yeah, I do. Look, looks like a bruise, but it's not. Okay. This is the one we've been waiting for, guys. This is it. I looked at that stamp when I was looking at my choices here, and I thought, I wonder what would happen if I did that one. What would happen is it's dynamite. That's what would happen. Look, here's my clean card with ink on it. Wowzer. Wowzer. Look at that. That is fabulous. Fabulous. That's the one we've been waiting for, guys. We needed more contrast, didn't we? I was trying to get the colors too close to each other, and what we really wanted was diametrically different colors. And this one turned out beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. So the concept again is we're just going to choose our stamp. Know that this one that had a lot of texture in it worked out beautifully. Choose your stamp, stamp it, emboss it with clear embossing powder. Then start your work on your gel press and start adding colors. And adding colors till you like the color you receive. Then you're going to take your wet wipe and you're going to clean the ink off the top of your white ink because it just really brings the color out, and make your card, and you are ready. Wow, sir, that's the one we were waiting for. I'm loving that. Loving that. Do you guys have questions, comments, pearls of wisdom? There's probably lots of pearls of wisdom you can give me tonight. Next time, let's not do this or this. Let's make sure we emboss it correctly.
Well, a lot of people have already given their thumbs up and their comments.
Excellent. Well, let me show you the two others. I think I have two others that we've done here. And we'll just look at what we finished with, but I think this is the overall. I'm not even going to ask you to vote on this one. This one's just so obvious. Let's see. Here's the last one we did. It's turned out pretty. It turned out pretty. And let's see. Where's that other one? What did I do with that other one, Margie?
I don't know.
There it is. Trying to handle it carefully because my fingers are so bad. I think this one's pretty too. So there we go. That's our technique. Stamping and gel pressing to get your background that does not have to be colored. Can I color it? I absolutely can if I want to, but you don't have to color, as you get beautiful color combinations from the inking. Okay, if you haven't hit the like button already, please hit that. If you're not a subscriber, let's hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss any of the fun. You can tell that this group always has a good time when we get together. And once we sign off, leave me a comment. Might be good to say, we love you anyway, Debbie. That's always a good one when I have a mess up show. But I do. We got the one we were looking for. We did get that one. And the name of this set again was, Margie? Botanical Blooms. And we do have this spectacular set on sale for 25% off. Okay.
Well, we will in just a moment.
We will, as soon as Margie's done changing the prices. So don't run and buy it until you see the sale price on it. And maybe I'll show Margie how to put the I'll show her how to put the clear stamps category up on the top with the sale items so you can find it easily. So very good. Irene, I'm glad that we showed you something new. And Stephanie, I'm glad you could drop in, friend. All right, I'm going to go ahead and sign out for now. We will see you again on Saturday when I'm doing something, and I don't know what it is right now, but I'm sure it'll be fun. We'll be back Saturday at 11 a.m. Pacific. That's 2 p.m. Eastern time. Love you guys. Good night, Gracie.